Hello and welcome everybody to the Winterland Open Qualifier winners bracket between Emerald Gaming and To The Skies. I am Oisín Blood Penguin Malloy, and joining me as always is Como Kamala and Asari. How are you doing? Can you even hear me? Are you still here, Como? I have no idea if Como's here, so let's just keep going to the picks and bans. We have got Lee Sin banned out straight away by Emerald Gaming. It's Emerald Gaming, guys, by the way, on the blue side, with To The Skies on the purple side. It is a best of three, of course. Thresh banned out as well. They do not want to give Zeke's that Thresh. Zeke's also a little bit of a target ban coming out as well against Fate, or against Heroics, I'm pretty sure is their mid laner. I'm not quite sure that's a great ban. He's not as strong as he used to be, but he does have exceptional siege and anti-siege clear, so he's definitely something you need to be careful of if you're weak against that. Tristana has been banned as well as Nami going out, so a lot of kind of bot lane focus as well. Both Thresh and Nami, both very, very secure supports, both very solid supports being banned out right now. Tristana obviously still one of those hyper late game carries. Did receive a couple of nerfs though, so she isn't as hugely impossible to deal with in the late game, but still nonetheless a much feared hyper late game carry. Let's wait for the final ban. Von Krieg takes out Pantheon. Pitisk Stret, I can never pronounce his name right, does end up getting a target ban there, and Enox takes an immediate Morgana first pick. That's going to be going straight to Zeke's in that bot lane. Pretty strong pick as well. It's got the Black Shield, it's got a good hard CC as well with the Dark Binding and the Soul Shackles. Very nicely done, but wow, it nearly just as quickly. Nar and
oh my god, I'm sorry.
There you are. Where were you?
I went to get a glass of water.
God damn it!
I told you not to start. Nobody listens to me.
No one listens to you for very good reason. We had a game to play. Please, if you will, please take through picks and bans. We've already gone through the bans. We've already gone through the Morgana pick. Go from there.
Okay, sweet. So we see Pixie Treat picking up that Vi, which is very comfortable on just play quite frequently, and Fate has picking up Lucian for obviously VS in the bot lane alongside Morgana, which is going to be played by Zeke's, as you already mentioned. So that's a pretty strong bot lane combination. You got a lot of burst from the Lucian and you got a lot of sustain peel from the Morgana and hard engage. So it's a really nice strong bot lane on their part. Just looking over to The Skies, they've got Kha'Zix in the jungle, Nar in that top lane, and they have Victor in the mid lane, and also Corki. And Corki being your strong AD carry as well, he's probably one of the most played AD carries as well. There's Tristana, Lucian, and Corki, probably one of the best choices to go with. And then Victor, haven't seen much lately anyways in competitive play, but it will be interesting to see how that goes for them. And Kha'Zix obviously is your pretty strong jungler, and obviously Nar in the top lane as well. But looking at Emerald DVG, they are hovering over Xerath for the moment, so it'll be interesting to see if they go with it, or they're gonna go for the Xerath and the Irelia, it seems so far anyways.
I like the Xerath pickup as well. It's really like I think Xerath as a pick again as well against like a Victor or something that is really, really good, because Victor really depends on his kind of like, you know, close quarter kind of small burst, if you like. So does Corki. It's not like, you know, huge amounts of long distance, but obviously they have got a little bit of poke. But Xerath just kind of completely nullifies that. He charges up his Q, gets a couple of, you know, shots off with that. He can just completely ruin your engage as well, especially if you have Nar and Kha'Zix jumping in with the stun he has.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I'm just waiting for the last pick to see what is going to be played by Yuhi in that bot lane. They did ban up the Nami. They know that Yuhi is really comfortable on Nami, and that she played it plenty of times before, and then the last best of 3 series. So see exactly what they go for. Maybe a Janna, that would probably be a good pick. Oh, Zyra. This is interesting actually. I haven't seen Zyra on support in a while, but it's still quite good, and especially if you got a burst AD carry and then a high poke support, it's a really nice combination. So I see a really good bot lane coming out from both of the teams, and obviously the team compositions are looking really strong on both parts. Just looking at the lane matchups, you have Irelia versus Nar, so you know this is going to be a really strong top lane. It's going to be constant back and forth and harass with one another. And obviously in the jungle there's Vi, who's great for that level 6 gank when she gets that assault and battery, and Kha'Zix just pretty strong jungler, has a lot of burst, a lot of mobility as well. So he's great for early level ganking. I'm looking at Xerath as well, and actually, you're going to say something?
No, I wasn't say anything at all.
I thought you heard you were going to say something. Never mind.
No.
My bad. But Xerath and Victor in the mid lane. So there's really Xerath, is just really, really good for that long range poke as well. It's really hard to deal with, and a Victor is great at harassing as well. He's got that stun, so really that'll be interesting. I haven't really seen this lane matchup before, but it'll be good to see how it goes against Heros and Fate in the mid lane. As I just said, the bot lane compositions from both sides are really strong, so it'll be nice to see how this team game goes for both teams.
Yeah, and I think the comp really coming out from Emerald right now is that they are looking for Vi, Morgana to be the instigators effectively with, kind of Aurelia jumping in with, kind of for cleanup, if not, Fate and VS on Lucian or on Xerath and Lucian, just kind of keeping back and just constantly throwing out artillery, if you like. I like it. I think it's a decent enough comp. I've never been a huge fan of Vi. Purely for the reason that she commits so hard, and if you look at the team they're facing against, he jumps onto Gnar, he can bounce away. You jump onto Kha'Zix, he can jump away. You can jump onto Corki with the ultimate, he can just Valkyrie away. The only two people you can really go for are Victor and Zyra, but even then, Zyra's got a lot of peel. She can just knock you up with her Stranglethorns and the Stranglethorns and the Grasping Roots keep you in the same place. So she's not the one you want to be targeting either. So I don't know if this Vi pickup is effectively a very smart one either, because it's just, Jarvan could have done something similar. Maybe even I was going to say a Lee Sin, but obviously Lee Sin was banned. I just don't like how Vi fully commits to the team, especially against a team with so many escapes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that to a certain extent, but I think the main reason for picking up a Vi is because if you have a lot of chain CC followed up afterwards, it really makes it easier to lock down a single target. So say a Vi, it depends on team communication as well. So say a Vi goes in with the Sultan Battery, and then you've got obviously the Morgana with the Soul Shackles, the Dark Binding, the stun from Xerath, and obviously the stun from Irelia as well, if obviously that procs. But so you're really dependent on a lot of chain CC, and it obviously depends on team communication to really focus down. But Vi is really capable of just kind of putting the carries to the side and making sure that they really don't have an impact in the team fight. So Vi's still a pretty strong pick. I like it. I know there's a lot of junglers that are better than Vi, but to be honest, it's to each their own what they're most comfortable with and what they play best. And so it might work for them. I think it would. It goes really well with their team composition, anyways.
Yeah,
but I definitely prefer Kha'Zix, anyways.
Yeah, you definitely prefer Kha'Zix. But I think the one saving grace that Vi in this particular matchup she has got the Black Shield that can obviously nullify a lot of the knockups that Zyra or the stuns that she will be doing if it's done at the right time. So she has got that if they do coordinate that kind of all in effectively correctly. I just think that maybe Vi, she's obviously a very strong pickup, and no one's denying that. But it's just that, and just in this particular comp, she can jump in, but apart from Lucian maybe, and if Aurelia obviously shouldn't really be there. If she has her teleport, she should be split pushing. No one really to jump in with her. Xerath will jump, kind of from behind, try to a couple of shots, but. If Kha'Zix say she ults on Victor, Kha'Zix and Corki and Gnar could just jump ahead of her, get to Lucian and Xerath, force them back, and then Vi's left on her own. So she's got to, they've got to make sure that they do get these engages pretty much perfect.
Yeah, that's true, and you're really looking for that pick as well, just to catch people out and use that assault and battery for that reason. If you have a teammate alongside with you, or the rest of your team alongside with you, can really absolutely destroy and melt that health bar. But it depends really on the situation. But we'll see how it goes during the laning phase anyways for these both teams. See who will be. Will it be one specific lane that will take a lead, or will it be constantly even between both teams, and then it'll all be dependent when it comes to team fights and objective control. So far in these tournaments, these best of threes that we've seen so far, the laning phases usually tend to go quite even, and then it'll really be dependent on what the team fight goes like, or what dragon control is like. Then the first main fight really breaks out at Dragon. It's your first objective that you really want to pick up, and as soon as possible, the better. So it'll be interesting to see, and also vision control is huge as well. Zeke's and Yuhi are incredible with putting down a lot of vision around the map and clearing wards, so it's really going to be a battle between these two supports.
It really, really is, and as you can see now, Emerald were kind of looking for a little bit of an aggressive start. They want to try to catch someone out, but look at To the Skies were just not having any of it. But as we say that, no vision over this top side for Emerald. They have no idea that everybody is over here. They are going to try going for, To the Skies are going to try go for this blue steal. Is Emerald? No, he's gonna ward it. He has to ward. Yes, he is. But he loses his ward. He was a good ward.
Rip.
But again, that's just, simple things like that can save you. Like, you see it so many times in solo queue or anything like that, where the mid laner will just walk up to that bush and think, oh, this is fine. You need to take precautions, and that was very nicely done there. He did obviously lose his ward, but nothing crazy going to happen from this level 1 after everyone kind of knows where everyone else is.
Yeah, they were trying to get that level 1 invade, but it wasn't going to really work out. Fate obviously managed to put that ward over and spot them out, so that was perfect for them. And put in the right spot as well. But yeah, they just really focused on putting down that vision around their own buffs or alongside the river, just so you can make sure that there are no invades occurring and both junglers can get both of their buffs safely. So this is done quite effectively.
Yeah, both junglers starting on their reds. They're actually mirroring each other in that sense. Both will have their reds to start off, but will go towards their blue. So they're on two very different gank packs, which means if Vi does go top against the Gnar to try and get him, down in the, because he is a bit of an early game bully, she will not be, kind of followed, if you like, by the Kazakhs. So it's an interesting little turn of events in that sense. We're going to see, ooh, good Dark Binding onto Lamzer. He'll take a little bit of harassment for that. Only an auto attack though, from Morgana. But yeah, it's going to be hard now for Corki and for Yuhi and Lamzer to really do anything. As we can just see, Yuhi just puts in a small little thing, and all of a sudden he's gotten, half health, and he has to pop a pot. It's not going to work out for him at all. Here comes their level 2 hit straight away. They're going to turn on the Yuhi. Drops down the back shield. They may force the flash. No, not quite. But again, it's going to be so hard, especially with the lockdown, the early game lockdown that Morgana brings.
Yeah, and I really like the way they took advantage of hitting level 2 first, went right in, and they managed to get a lot of burst down. So they're going to have some of this lane dominance for the moment. They're going to be able to zone them out, and Zeke's doing a great job anyways with those dark bindings, is really enabling them to put a lot of pressure down that bot lane. And Lamzer and Yuhi just struggling a little bit anyways, already falling far, not far, but falling a bit behind on CS, but this is what we usually see. But the top lane, whoa, a lot of aggression coming out.
Yeah, here we go. It's actually going to hit the Mega Gnar, but it's, as I said, Vi's going to be here. There's nothing he can do about it. It's going to be first blood going over to Aurelia. Very nicely done there by Vi and Pick It Straight. I can never pronounce it. I do apologize. I will ask him eventually.
Pixie-treat.
Yeah, Pixie-treat. You got it. I don't. But as I said, Kazakhs being on a completely different gank path, no way Gnar was going to be able to do it. He had no vision up there. There was no way he was getting out of that.
Yeah, that's true. And I think he totally baited that out as well. And Nox was kind of letting Krieg harass him down a bit because he knew Pixie-treat was on the way top lane for that gank. So it was really nicely baited by them. So that will be first blood. And that will enable him to obviously show a little bit of dominance in that lane phase, Aurelia just being a completely strong top laner in those early levels as well. And obviously when she hits that, gets that Triforce machine, it does a lot. So
yeah, she's going to be able to kind of stay in this top lane as well. She's already building up a CS lead. Still got some pots and some crystalline flasks to chug through as well. So Gnar needs to be careful though. And again, he hasn't popped down his trinket. For all he knows, Vi could be coming for a return gank. He needs to get that trinket there. It's a free ward.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the problem. Ooh, Kazakhs.
Showed himself at the last second, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, but this is another thing we see a lot with the top laners. Vision doesn't seem to be as important for them. They tend to not put down as many wards as they should, and that kind of gets them caught out due to ganks. But whoa, a lot of damage going on in the bot lane, and also in the mid lane.
Yeah, in the mid lane, for some reason, Zera jumped straight into that. Wanted to try and get the kill onto Heroes, but he jumped into the gravity field, so he was always going to get stunned by it. Very odd move there. Jumped into two people. So we do see now Enox going hard against Von Krieg in the top lane. Von Krieg gonna have to jump away. Does get away just about. Will turn to Mega Gnar very soon, though. As we see the bot lane already starting to get so much damage down onto Lamzer and Yuhi. It's just not really going their way right now. We see a huge discrepancy in CS for Lucian and Corki, as well as in the top lane as well. So it's just only going to get harder for Corki, considering how he falls off. Well, he's not terrible in the late game, but he's definitely not as good as Lucian.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And just already looking at the CS difference, 39 to 16, that's huge, and it's going to make it really hard for Lamzer to catch up in terms of CS. And if he keeps falling far behind, he's just going to delay his items, and it's going to be really bad when it comes to, especially if objectives are taken quite early by Emerald DVG, then it's going to be hard for these guys to catch up with that. But it was always going to be a difficult laning phase. Zeke's and VS just have really good synergy with one another. They're really known for showing dominance in that bot lane, but Yuhi and Lamzer still playing it fairly decently against them. I know the CS difference is quite big, but they're still trying to stay safe in that bot lane, which is probably the most important thing.
Yeah, as we do see now, Heroes, he's got to jump in the gravity field, trying to stun up Fate. He's not going to be able to get it. They do get the knockup though from the VQ. They're going to be able to take him down. No, they won't! Oh, the misjudgment there by Fate. He didn't charge it long enough. Heroes will limp away, but nonetheless will leave with his life intact. Very, very poor miscalculation there on the side of Faith.
Yeah, it was a complete mistake, misjudgment, as you said, of damage, and just got away with the slightest
just the range.
bit of that.
He didn't charge it long enough to get the range on it.
Yeah, that's true. And he got away with the slightest bit of help, which was quite unfortunate, but that stuff happens. But Krieg and Enox going head-to-head with one another.
Oh, he's going head-to-head. One more. Transcendent Blade will do it. That's going to be another kill to Aurelia. All of a sudden, Enox is starting to look very, very scary. Has got that sheen. He's going to be able to go back with a load of farm and even stay in this top lane to push, because he is just not pressured at all. Kha'Zix, I feel like 2 boots, he needs to do something soon.
Yeah, that's true, because you can already see that Pixie has done so much already for his team. He's trying to make as many ganks as possible. Even though pre-level 6 Vi isn't that great at ganks, she's quite good when she gets that assault and battery, but regardless of the situation, she still managed to get that kill for Aurelia in that top lane, which enabled him to snowball effectively on that. So it's been a great job, but we haven't seen Tubeless really show an impact in the game yet. Hopefully we will soon enough.
Yeah, hopefully that Kha'Zix. Now, you do kind of pick the Kha'Zix to go a little bit more late game. He has got a little bit, obviously when he gets his evolutions, he's a little bit more powerful. But you do need to be careful though with the way you do it. He has upgraded his spikes first. There's no vision on this blue buff. I have no idea if what Vi's going to do. She's waiting for Victor to come over. Heroes is in a terrible situation right now. They know he's going for it. Not going to be able to get him, are they though? They're going to jump into it. Ooh, misses the Vault Breaker. Going to have to back away though straight away because he knows 2 boots is there. Oh, actually, never mind. He goes in with the Assault Battery, using the Q there. He's going to get stunned up by the Gravity Shield. But here comes the ultimate from Zara. It's not going to be enough. He misses all 3, and now he needs to get the hell out of dodge because there's a huge amount of burst just went out onto him. They're trying to come up though. Zeke's was with him. They're going to be able to maybe turn this around. Heroi's going to be forced to flash. No! Whoa! Kha'Zix tried to flash in front of him. Didn't quite work. It's going to be Morgana picking up that blue. Zeke's will appreciate that. But in the end, a little bit of a miscommunication between Vi and Zera.
Yeah, I think Pixie Street went a bit too hard there. Fate seemed a bit reluctant to fight with that and didn't really seem to know what was going on exactly. It was a bit of a miscommunication, clearly see that, but a nice roam there by Zeke, so you know he's great as a roaming support. Got himself a nice blue buff, so able to spam more of those Dark Bindings and Tormented Souls, so it's going to make it bot lane a lot harder for Lamzer and Yuhi, unfortunately for them.
50 CS difference at nearly at the 9.5 minute mark. This is not going well for To The Skies.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that. There's only a Ruby Crystal and a Longsword for Corki. Meanwhile, Lucian has a pickaxe, so he's doing a lot more damage. He almost has enough for a BF sword, actually, so it's going to make bot lane a lot more difficult for Lamzer and Yuhi. But good enough for them, they actually haven't managed to give up any kills, so as I said, that's probably the most important thing. If you're falling far behind, if you give kills on top of that, it just makes things a lot worse, but at least they're playing it safe, so it's good on their part.
It's good on their part. They are going to try to go hard though a little bit. They are levels. They are. Corky is not level 6, I should say. Yuki is. They're not going to jump in. It's going to be a 2v2 in the top lane. Von Krieg going to jump away. They might be able to go back onto this. Two Boots is very healthy. He's got a rev up, but the Relia goes back. We're going to go bot lane for some stupid reason. We're going to try to get onto Yuki. He's going to flash away, get away with that. Victor trying to go up to the top lane, but he's just going to be able to jump onto Faith. He uses stun. Faith needs to trade back some good damage. It's going to be in the top lane though, as we see them going down. Vi the one, and that was a great counter dank by Two Boots. Now he's starting to make some moves.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. He's really showing his presence now and doing a great job as well. 3-0-0. Has that Spirit of the Elder Lizard, and has got nice wards in his pocket as well. So great for the team as well to get that vision around the map, and doing a great job helping Von Krieg. He knows that he's struggling a bit in that top lane because of the 2-0 Irelia and a bit of a CS lead. Not something too huge, but definitely Kha'Zix. Two Boots doing a good job so far.
Yeah, and I think this is the moment now where, you know, you need to be careful as Vi, because you could just snowball this completely in the wrong way. You could really get stung if you're not careful about how you go about these things. He just needs to maybe not force engages so hard and just wait, you know, farm up a little bit, get a couple of items. He's 10 CS behind. As we talk about that now, Yuki going to get found in Morgana, but here he goes again. He's trying to force things. It's not working out for him. He needs to just relax and just try and find, you know, opportunities in his own place. But we see Heroes going to try all three again, but it's not going to be enough. As here, oh, good flash though. Salt Battery going to come in. There we go. They get the Q off in the right time, in the right place. Lambs are trying to come up though with Yuki. Don't really think they're able to do much with this though. Lucy, they actually might find himself in a bit of a sticky situation though. They're trying to go for Dragon. Yuki needs to be very careful. He has no flash. Oh no, Yuki. They're going to give that one over to Zera, but Two Boots jumps in. He has no jump now. He's no flash either. It's going to be a double kill. That's going to be Dragon. Very, very easily done. And that was just a poor decision from To The Skies. They just lost their mid laner.
Yeah, they were sticking around Dragon. They were kind of, I don't know, understand what was. They baited Emerald and DVG towards it, which was a really bad idea because that effectively let them get 2 kills and the Dragon as well. So I don't know what they were trying to do. Obviously they couldn't have gone for Dragon at that moment, but mistakes are being made by them, so gotta be careful in certain situations. Like the Dragon, you don't want to be handing over too easily, because most of the time if you end up giving Dragon control to your opponent, it's really hard to get it back.
Yeah, Von Krieg, he's in a bit of a sticky situation now. He's going to get jumped up by Inox, who has got the phase and the try and the sheen. He's just out of Mega Narf phone, so he's trying to run away. I don't think he's going to be able to. Maybe he will be. He's kiting it very nicely, getting those procs off, getting the speed buff. Inox needs to be careful though, because Mega Narf's coming up. So is Two Boots and Heroes. Everyone's here for this party. Heroes kind of showing himself a little preemptively, in my opinion. They may still go for the dive. Kha'Zix is in their jungle.
Yeah, Kha'Zix looking on the side, but Inox smart enough to predict that, so he decides to back off. 3 of them are going to be able to... they're going to have to give that up, but yeah, they're going to lose this tower. So they're going to be the first tower of the game going towards To The Skies. Nicely roamed by Victor and Kha'Zix. So ended up taking that up for themselves eventually. There you go. And in the mid lane, actually, Fade's trying to push in that mid lane tower, but he's not really doing too much to it just yet. Still quite healthy.
Took quite a bit of bulk though, Heroes. He needs to be very careful. He is trying to rush that Hex Core a little bit. We see the ultimate, the Akadem. There's one. He's only going to hit that one though, as he tries to go back. He's going to force Heroes back out of lane. That's not going to bode well for a CS, but they do pick up bot lane turret in reply.
Yeah,
oh no,
tower.
Inox.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I'd say, oh no, Inox, but he's going straight on Two Boots, but he's completely isolated. Here comes the assault battery. They blow up Kha'Zix. Von Krieg, you need to get the hell out of dodge. He needs to run away. He's going to turn Mega Narf very soon. He's going to be able to kite this though very nicely. Heroes is around. Fate not really got the best of mana. Von Krieg needs to be careful. They don't really know. Heroes doesn't know if he's sitting on a ward or not. This is a horrendous moment in the game where you're just like, I don't know if I've been seen. I think he knows now. He's going to back away and get himself a little bit of a little item or two. Picks up that needlessly large rod, so he's going to be hitting a lot harder.
Yeah, true that. And Lucian does have his Infinity Edge. Meanwhile, Corky only has a Sheen and a Fade, so it is falling behind in terms of items. But this tower is going to be taken up there by Emerald Fate in the mid lane. So they are 2 for 1 in terms of towers. Taking a slight bit of a gold lead, about 5k. And usually tend to see this a lot where you see that gradual build-up of gold where you take the CS lead, then you take the dragon objective, and then the tower objective, and then that subsequently enables one of the teams to get a huge goal difference, which prohibits the other team from catching up. It makes it really, really hard. But actually, in the top lane, 3 people up here. Von Krieg doesn't know at all.
He knows now as they try to jump in onto him. Nice jump though, does get away. They're going to be able to take another tower. Good rotations there from Emerald. But Corki is pushing down this bot lane. They have got TP on Aurelia, so if they really wanted to, they could send her down and try and defend that. They are going to do that. But again, I'm just looking at the items right now, and it's very scary right now. You've got an IE finished onto Lucian, as we do see. Oh no, Fate, no!
Ooh.
He doesn't quite get a flash burned. He's going to force Kha'Zix back. He's already starting to bully everybody out of these things.
Yeah, it does have that Athene's and almost a death cap, so he's doing a lot of damage. And Victor's a bit behind in terms of CS and items, so he's not doing as much. And as you were saying, the items look very scary on the side of Emerald DVG. Triforce already done on Aurelia. Obviously, Spirit of the Elder Lizard on Vi. She's going for a Tenacity Boots afterwards. And then the Death Cap almost finished on Xerath with an Athene's, and then Infinity Edge for Lucian. So it is pretty scary comparatively to the Skies, as you said.
Corki hasn't even finished his Triforce yet. He is so behind.
Yeah, and he's only sitting on 500 gold as well, so he's got a long way to go before he gets it.
And I imagine now the next big fight may well, if Emerald win it in a clean ace, 5-0, they could end the game. Well, not effectively end it, but they could definitely take a lot more advantages, make it even harder for To The Skies to really make anything from it. Because right now, VS and Fate and Inox are huge. There's really not a lot they could do in a straight fight, or To The Skies could do in a straight, 5v5 fight. They'll just get locked down by the Morgana. They'll single target damage. A Vi will still be enough to take out Lamzera. He literally has nothing right now. There's not a lot that, To The Skies can really do except stall out. And even then, they haven't got the greatest late game team in the world.
Yeah, that's true. And they are picking up a lot of wards. You can see the vision wards in the inventory slots, but that's all they can really do. Set down wards along their own jungle and play it safe for now until they farm up and catch up. It's going to take a long time for them to actually do that. They don't even have dragon control. Emerald DVG are so far ahead in terms of CS, itemization, and gold that if they try to fight them 5-on-5 for dragon, they'd completely lose. It wouldn't be worth it in the end for them. And they can't give up kills like that. So they're going to have to hand over dragon to Emerald DVG,
really are. I don't really think there's anything to do. Like, Inox at the moment is already starting to bully this bot lane split push against a ranged AD carry. It's not looking good for them at all. I will give it to them though. They are starting to get a couple of wards out of the way as they try and see if they can get something from this. Two Boots gonna run into Fate. Don't think he really knows who's there though. He's gonna run away straight away. As we wait now. The dragon is live. They're going to go straight for it. Two Boots is hanging around though. He needs to get the hell out though, because he is not going to be able to take this. Already half health. Von Krieg, this is going to be it. Dragon goes over to Emerald Gaming. They're going to jump onto. There's the assault battery onto Von Krieg. Here comes the ultimate now. They get one onto Kha'Zix. They're going to be able to jump onto Von Krieg. There's 2 kills. Trying to jump onto Lamzer. Will he be able to get the kill onto Inox? I don't think so. Good Q there by Vi. Able to get the kill there onto double kill onto Lucian. Lamzer gonna go down as well. It's going to be a clean. Oh, sorry, not a clean ace. It's 4-0. Victor, Heroes' Victor did get out eventually, but they're gonna lose a dragon, 4 kills, and most likely this inner tower.
And I was just saying that they cannot fight them for that dragon because they'll just end up losing more for it. It was a big mistake. They should have just let that go. And they're just making it really hard for themselves to even catch up or keep up. And just more and more objectives are going to be taken by Emerald DVG. They're just going to take tower after tower, dragon after dragon, and eventually Baron as well. So they can't be making these risky plays to fight them because they're so behind them at the moment. It's just not worth fighting them.
10,000 gold right now. There is a 70 CS, well, nearly 70 CS difference between the bot lane. It's a 30 CS difference in the top lane. In fact, the only lane that's winning is Victor at the moment. But again, it's 4-1-3's Xerath. He's got his Death Cap. He's got his Athenes and Holy Grail. Victor, Heroes has to rush the. Oh, good stun actually, able to get him out. But we're gonna see a pause. DC on Fate. Gonna see if he can come back now. I was wondering why he wasn't harassing out Two Boots when he was at tower. Um, Again, it would not be one of our games if we weren't getting a
Mm.
pause at least once in a series. Um,
What is with that? Like, I just don't understand.
yeah, I don't understand it either, guys. Do apologize. There is a slight DC. We are waiting for Fate to get back into game. While we're here, let's have a look at the items. Top lane for Rele. She's got her Triforce finish. She's working towards that Randuin's. She is getting huge. Sorry, excuse me. Von Krieg hasn't even finished anything. He's looking as if he like maybe wants to finish off his Sunfire cape. Possibly could be around him, but even then, it's not going to do anything good because there's so much magic damage still on the side of Emerald.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just so difficult right now for them to do anything right now. Vi is nearly finished up her Randu, and she's already got her Merc Treads and her Lizard Elder buff. Kha'Zix, in fairness, two boots, I should say, has not been doing badly. He has got a good bit of damage onto him. He's got the Brutalizers, he's got the Ionian boots for the cooldown reduction, so he's doing fine. But then you look at the mid lane, you have got the Mach 1. I think it's the Mach 1. Yes, it's the Hexcore MK1, the Mach 1. Still only one, it's still only Mach 1. He hasn't even finished his Zonias yet. You have got against versus a Death Cap, Fiends and Holy Grail, and even an Amplifying Tone. He's obviously going towards a Void Staff, in my opinion, would be a very good pickup for him. Xerath. In the bot lane, Corki just finished his Triforce versus his the IE Static Shiv of Lucian. There's not a lot they can do. And even then, Zyra went with Magic Pen. She is not building tanky. She is going to be a sitting duck in these fights.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god. It's just looking not so good for To The Skies. And we did see them play extremely dominantly in the last Best of 3 series. But as you can tell, Emerald DVG are just no joke of a competition. They're extremely strong and doing a fantastic job so far anyways.
Yeah, honestly, in the sense that the way picks and bans went, I'd still feel the Victor pick's a little bit of a, something that could have been but never was for To The Skies. Like, Gnar is obviously a very strong pick. Kha'Zix is clearly a very strong pick. Corki Zyra can work. Zyra is still a good enough support. The only thing that I'm kind of like, what doesn't fit is Heroes' Victor. It just doesn't fit the comp right now. It's not really doing anything because we're out of laning phase where Victor kind of does his best amount of poke, and his team aren't able to siege very well, so it doesn't do great for the kind of poke and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense. Whereas you look on the other side of Emerald Gaming, you've got split push, you've got hard engage, and you've got kind of, a decent enough synergy between the champions. Vi is able to keep people off of Fate and Lucian, or off of Xerath and Lucian. Morgana has got great setup and a black shield for Inox and Vi to use, to go in on hard engages. It just works an awful lot better than To The Skies comps, and it speaks volumes as well because it's a 10,000 gold lead, and we're just under 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's really tough, and Corki just finished that Triforce. Meanwhile, Lucian has an Infinity Edge and a Static Shiv. I wonder how much gold he's thinking on. Oh, not too much anyways, but still really far ahead. And Corki doesn't even have tier 1 boots. Look at the CS difference, 172 to 113. That's just something really hard to deal with, and it's going to be hard to catch up as well. And just generally can't really tell what to do, but the vision on the side up To The Skies is pretty good. They're trying to ward up their own jungle, but then just look at the amount of wards that Emerald DVG have, the amount of pink wards, and the amount of deep wards in the enemy jungle as well. So definitely outdoing them with the vision as well.
Yeah, the wards right now are just speaking volumes, really. It's just a fantastic. You got the deep, kind of along the river pink wards for defense. You've got the kind of deep in their own jungle. You've got the very, very deep right up to the nexus in the enemy jungle on the red side. And there's only this kind of line of the river for To The Skies, so it's not really working out for them right now. It's just very, very strange, or not very strange. It's very discouraging, I should say, when you're To The Skies to know that you're just that far behind. And Aurelia, she's gotten her big item. Once she gets her Randuin, she's going to be pretty, almost, I wouldn't say impossible to deal with, but I would very closely say it, because right now no one has items to deal with her.
Yeah, that's true. She's doing a lot of damage with the Triforce. Looks like she's going for a Ranju into the next. Does have the Giant Spell, obviously, for that bit of health. But yeah, you're right. It's gonna be hard to deal with her. She really it's difficult to deal with when she jumps on, especially the squishy carries. She can really burst them down, and it's really hard to deal with. So, and if you just look at to the skies, as you said, they don't really have any items to do with it, and they've got really no armor on their part. They do have a Seekers from Victor, but that really can only do so much, and Nard hasn't even finished an item yet, so it's going to be difficult to even prevent her from doing anything. And same with Lucian. Lucian's just going to do a lot of burst damage. They've got no armor to negate any of that damage.
Yeah, it's looking fairly grim right now. They have effectively missed the mid game power spike of Corki because he's not stronger than anyone else on the side of Emerald, apart from maybe Zeke's. And even then, I'd say, look, Zeke's going towards his he's got his Seeker's arm guard. He could probably still 1v1 him, which is very, very strange to say. A very strange thing to say. Faith has just reconnected, as we can see on our own side. We are waiting to see if everybody, kind of gets in. Everybody's happy with things before we proceed. Hopefully, we can get straight back into game. I'm hearing reports there might be a few problems with the stream. We're not quite sure if that's what's happening there. We are trying to fix that as quickly as we possibly can, guys. We do apologize. Small technical issues, nothing we can really do about it effectively. But yeah, what do you do to come back from this kind of deficit if you're on the side of To the Skies?
Well, we have seen in certain situations, we're resuming into game, but I'll just say, we have seen certain situations where one team is extremely far ahead and there's nothing you can really do to deal with them. But to be honest, it's really what you have to do is capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. If the team that's so far ahead ends up making any form of mistake, you capitalize on it and somehow you manage to catch up with them. But these situations are quite rare because teams are far ahead know that you can't stall out, because that will enable your opponents to catch up, and inevitably they might be able to win the game off that. But we know Emerald DVG, they're a completely strong team, and they know not to make a mistake like that. So it's for these guys, I honestly don't know what they can do. It's really difficult for them. You can really see them struggling, and all they're really trying to do is wait for Emerald DVG to push up and try to defend this if they possibly can, but it doesn't really look like it.
Yeah, they are doing a little bit of work now. VS taking a couple of more tower shots than he possibly needed to, but 1 Q and 2 boots already starting to feel the pain. They really need to figure out what they want to do. Do they want a hard engage, or do they want to be forced into a hard engage? Because their comp could work if they got engaged upon, if they were on equal gold, and, they just kind of kited it back. But because they're so far behind, they can't afford that, so they have to look for fights. But looking for fights just means they get completely dumped upon. Here we go, Heroes gets caught up by 1 stun. Absolutely obliterated right there. Here comes buy in as well, Salt Battery. They're going to try to use the Stranglethorns to try and get away. It's not going to be enough though. The teleport here from Inox jumps from one, gets the other. There's the Dark Binding on the Von Krieg. That's going to be a clean ace. Triple kill on the Xerath. They're not even going to bother with the turret. Actually, they are going to do it. They're going to do a bit of a split. No, they're not. I thought VS was going to go for the turret and everyone else go for the Baron, but it's just going to be a straight up Baron for the team of Emerald Gaming. And honestly, they can get this, end the game. This is a 22-minute Baron.
Yeah, 22-minute Baron is quite OP on the side of Emerald DVG, and there's really nothing that these guys could have done. Even if they all survived, they wouldn't have been able to contest this regardless, because looking at the amount of damage that they're doing is just too much, and for To the Skies to deal with, it's barely possible. Now did manage to pick up a bit of armor. Nar did manage to get that Ranjuan's. Kozak still with no defensive items under his belt just yet, and just looking at even the levels, everyone on To the Skies is like about 1 to 2 levels behind Emerald DVG. So that really makes a difference as well. They're going to pick up this mid lane tower though, so 2-4 in terms of towers. I don't know if they're going to be able to push more. It's probably a big mistake.
Oh, Lamzer just steps one bit too close. Gets caught out. Hero's going to die as well. Not quite yet, though. He will just wait till they come back. But Fate takes that one as well. It's going to be a... Ooh, Dark Biting just about misses. They're going to have to keep falling back as they just see the arcane power coming out from Fate Zera. They're going to force Von Creek back as well. They're going to be able to take this inhibitor fairly easily. They just need the minion wave to do it.
Yeah, there's just really nothing this guys can do right now. Emerald DVG are just too far ahead, they're doing too much damage and they're chunking away at those towers. Should be able to get this inhibitor as well, and it's not really going to be contested too much. DVA only here to try and defend this, but what can they really do? Ooh.
Oh my god,
got hurt.
Absolutely obliterated is the word they're looking for there. As we do see them take the inhibitor turret, they're going to look for the inhibitor as well. Inox, I don't think he's going to care right now. He's just trying to get more kills. They're going to get the stun to Von Krieg. They're going to try jump onto him. That's another kill on the VS. He is 407. It's just going to be another inhibitor. They could keep going. Honestly, their poke is so strong that they can just constantly hit it. They're actually going to roll down, so the minions have hit that bottom wave turret.
Yeah, they're just going to go on this and really just looking at this guys. They're so squishy. Ooh, got to be careful. There's a lot of damage, yes.
There. But again, there's nothing they can do. They're just taking the base how they please. They're all mundos. They're going where they please right now. They don't even need the top lane turrets. Heroi's going to get stunned up. He's going to take a bow, Herois. You are dead, my friend. They're going to try Jonah onto Picross. He's not going to die. Zyra does, though. Everything just kind of being snowballing. Like, the funny thing is, the Emerald hasn't even gone back to base yet. They've got Baron and they just want to end the game. They're going to get another kill on the Von Krieg. Two boots trying to jump in, get a kill for Redemption. I think he's going to lose his life for it. He is. Fate gets another kill. This game is pretty much over. They're going to take the last of the Nexus turrets. Well played to Emerald Gaming, though. They had a decisive lead, and in fairness, they took it and they ran away with it.
Yeah, they showed their extreme dominance in this first game, and it'll be awesome to see them come back in the second game. We'll see how that goes. But to this guys, they're gonna have to plan something against this extremely dominating composition that Emerald DVG have come up with. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the second game goes for these guys.
Yeah, and To The Skies have a lot to think about now. I really feel like you can't ban out Fate. You might be able to ban out Inox or maybe, you know, Zeke. There's so many people you need to try and ban out that it just becomes hard, basically, for them to really do anything about it. So, but anyway, guys, that was game one. Going over to Emerald Gaming, over To The Skies. This is the best of three, so we will be back very, very shortly with game two of this best of three series in the winners bracket for the Winterland Open. We'll see you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Winterland Open Winners Bracket Tournament, League of Legends, of course, with To The Skies versus Emerald Gaming. Emerald Gaming taking in a very convincing fashion game one. I am Usheen Blood Penguin Malloy. Como is with me as well. Como, take away the bans.
Okay, so Thresh instantly banned out there by To The Skies. No surprise there whatsoever. And Ziggs went down out there by Emerald DVG. So obviously going for those targeted bans. They don't want to be handing those over. We do know. Obviously, nobody gives Thresh to Ziggs. It's just pretty obvious it's going to be banned away from him or picked up if they had first pick. But Tristana, which they do, and Tristana being banned away by To The Skies, obviously nobody really wants to be playing against Tristana once it hits that late game. Tristana's a monster and it's really hard to deal with. And obviously if she gets a bit ahead even in the laning phase, she kind of skips that weak point, which is the mid game, and she just hits her power spike. So not going to want to play against that. And Pantheon, the last ban by To The Skies. Lee Sin by Emerald DVG. They want to get rid of that in the Morgana. So they're not willing to hand that over. Zeke did play that in the previous game. They don't want to be giving it over, but Nami's still left open, so that will enable maybe if Von Krieg picks that up, might be able to give it to Yuhi. But I presume if they don't take it, maybe they might be wanting to pick it up for Zeke's.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting ban, actually, the Morgana. They know that Yuhi is a very, very strong Nami. We've seen his Nami. He's very, very comfortable on that champion. But is it a first pick priority for To The Skies? They need to be careful with this first pick because they've left open quite a bit as well. There's a lot that, you know, Fate can go for. Like, they haven't banned him out at all. He could go for Yasuo if he liked. You know, he could go for pretty much anything if it really fancied him. So they need to be careful. And you can see they're taking a lot of consideration. They are going to go with the Nami though.
Yeah, I was assuming they were going to go for the Nami. Yuhi is quite comfortable on the Nami. You can definitely tell the difference. Didn't really show a strong performance on the Zyra. Didn't really get the opportunity to either, due to the fact they were quite heavily dominated since level 2 in that bot lane. But Nami definitely a more comfortable pick for Yuhi, so we'll see how that goes for her. But once again, Lucian been picked up for VS, and this time they're going to take Kha'Zix, so that was left open. And unfortunately for To The Skies, they had to let Emerald DVG pick that up for themselves, so quite strong competition coming out from Emerald DVG so far. But we'll see 2 Boots and Horus. Let's see what they decide to go with. Obviously, Kha'Zix has been taken away from 2 Boots, so we'll see what jungler he decides to go with. Maybe a Jarvan, you never know, or an Elise. But we'll see how that goes in Horus. He's gonna have to pick wisely against what he wants to play against Fate. They're gonna go for the Gnar though.
They're gonna go for the Gnar again, and honestly, I think this is. Inox could just pick Aurelia again. They have the same situation as in the last game where Gnar gets Von Krieg gets bullied out by Inox's Aurelia. Aurelia is, you know, obviously Inox is incredibly comfortable on that champion. It's something that he knows very, very well. But they're not. It's again the picks and bans are not forcing them onto anything that they don't, you know, they're not comfortable playing with, and they're playing kind of the same system. And if I was Emerald Gaming, I'd be thinking to myself, what's not broken doesn't need fixing, so they could just go the exact same type of comp. Obviously, Kha'Zix doesn't give you as much as engage as Vi does, and the Morgana is banned, but they could still go with maybe a Leona for support. They could still go with the Aurelia, as I said, they're hovering over. They could still go with the Xerath if they like, because there's no real risk at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many options left open, but Janna's actually have been hovered over there by Fate. It's gonna be picked up there for Zeke's, and once, as you said before, going to be Aurelia for Inox in top lane. Obviously, I don't see a reason for him not to pick it up. What was left open is going for the same lane matchup as the previous game, and he did quite well in the previous game, so why not pick it up again, which they do. This time, Zeke's instead of that Morgana, since they banned it out, they're going to go for the Janna against Nami, so see how that plays out. But Lamzer and Yuhi waiting to pick up the last 2 champions for their team. We'll see exactly what is played in the mid lane and the jungle.
Yeah, and Janna is an interesting pickup. I like it in the sense that, you know, they will be able to obviously, you know, have a little bit more safety in the laning phase. It's also got good disengage, and like I imagine actually, this is actually probably one of the time, but I imagine a pick comp would work exceptionally well for Emerald, they could go with a twist of fate in this particular sense, and it would work perfectly with their comp because they're literally just looking to try and get those 2v1s, 1v2s, or sorry, 1v1s, you know, where they can just win out because like Lucian, one of the best kind of 1v1ers in the game. Kha'Zix, if he gets you isolated, you will take a lot of damage. Aurelia, when she gets going, will just constantly be in your face. And Janna can provide a lot of kite, even if there is team fights. So it's a very decent pick comp. They just need to be, you know, careful of how they implement it, especially with this last pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
and
there it
just
is.
as
There
you
it
said-
is. Called it.
Yeah, that's
Twist
very.
of Fate coming out for Fate, for which he is known.
Mm.
Haven't seen it on him in a while. So it should be very interesting to see how he goes with this. But I definitely see this 100% pick comp coming out from Emerald Gaming. And honestly, I really like it.
Yeah, and it definitely works for them as well. Fate extremely comfortable on Twisted Fate, so why not pick it up? It was left open. He did know that he was going into a lane matchup against Syndra, so it might be a bit difficult. But we know that Fate has played so much TF. He's really used to a lot of his counters and a lot of lane matchups, so it won't really be a problem. They're really just looking for, as you said, that pick comp, and they're just looking to pick out people, get kills, and subsequently go for objectives. So it's really a real pick composition coming out by Emerald DVG. And just looking over at To The Skies, as I said, they could have picked a Jarvan or an Elise, and they did decide to go for the Elise in that jungle, Syndra in the mid lane. So we'll see. They're going for pretty much a completely different team composition besides the Gnar in the top lane.
Yeah, and honestly, like the Elise Syndra is a fantastic combo in the sense that, you know, if she lands a Scatter the Weak stun and she then gets a free shot at getting the cocoon, you can combo it very, very well. It's kind of like they want to siege purely for the fact that they can catch one person out and then just blow them up effectively. But at the same time, they want to siege, but Emerald aren't going to want to siege. They don't want to be caught in the same place. They want to have Inox and Fate split pushing. They want to have this kind of like, I imagine actually it'd be very interesting to see if they can do this, but a 1-3-1 split push would actually be very effective because they'd have Inox in the top lane, they'd have Fate in the bot lane, both having a TP effectively to get back into the game, with Janna's disengage and her shields on the turret, as well as Lucian and Kha'Zix's wave clear. Honestly, it could be a fantastic way to do it if they so choose to do that. But again, it depends on how the kind of game folds out. It's how everybody kind of, you know, goes towards this. But it's really, really, really going to be very interesting to see exactly how To The Skies deal with this, knowing how comfortable that VS, Inox, and Fate are on these particular champions.
Yeah, that's true. And they decided to go for different champions this time around, maybe more comfortable champions as well. Got that. They did go for, obviously, the Gnar against the top lane. They could predict the fact that Inox was going to pick that Aurelia, but they took it regardless. And this time, two boots on Elise in that jungle, Herois on Syndra, and Alamzer alongside Yuhi in that bot lane with Caitlyn and Nami. And just looking at the matchups, as we saw, it's probably going to be the same back and forth with Von Krieg and Inox in that top lane. They were showing extreme aggression and constant back and forth, and obviously they did have Inox did have the help of Kha'Zix in that previous game, what was played by Vi in the last game. So he had a bit of help to snowball those early levels, and we'll see what Two Boots exactly does. You know, Elise is great on early level ganking, especially if he manages to hit that cocoon. And Syndra is extremely strong against Twisted Fate in the mid lane. She does have a lot of burst on her part, but we know Fate is extremely comfortable. Does have that exhaust actually, so it's going to need it as well. So we'll see exactly how that lane matchup goes up. And we've got a real poke composition on the side of To The Skies with that Caitlyn and Nami, just constant poke the range as well. So Lucian with a lot of burst. Obviously the shield from Janna when it hits level 9 does get that 50 extra attack damage. So it's quite a bursty bot lane as well. But they also got that utility Janna, just great for obviously everything, knockups, heal, slows, and yeah, pretty much top tier support, I would say, at this moment as well, alongside Nami.
Yeah, and I think Jan is a very strong pickup. It was a very smart pickup as well, knowing going against a Nami. Not saying that, you know, she does well against a Nami. Obviously, it depends on what she lands and stuff like that. But I just think it's a lot smarter to go with that. You get the extra movement speed. You get a shield, a knockback, good kite, I wouldn't say that Two the Skies is a poke comp. I would say they're more of a siege
No,
comp.
I meant the bot lane. It's poke.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, the bot lane is definitely kind of kind of hard poke effectively. But I still think that, especially with Fate going with his exhaust, he's able to exhaust Herois' Syndra. They still have the exhaust that they can use on Caitlyn. They've got a lot of options to be able to make this 1-3-1 split push in the mid game work for them. And honestly, I don't see why they wouldn't go for it. It's just it will work more in their favor than it would work against them. So we'll see how this level 1 goes. Both teams pretty decent at level 1 actually. Not much favorability between either side. Both have kind of, if Nami goes with her bubble, both have a stun effectively to kind of catch someone out. So it all depends on how the level 1 breaks out. But ladies and gentlemen, we are just about on to Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of To The Skies versus Emerald Gaming. 1-0 to Emerald Gaming. They are on your red side. To The Skies on your blue side. And this will be, if Emerald win, it will be To The Skies going down to the losers bracket with Emerald going further into this competition. Or will it go to a third game? We're going to have to find out very, very soon. But already we're seeing some pretty clustered To The Skies right now for this level 1.
Yeah, I cannot see that, so I will not be able to.
You're not in the map yet, that's alright.
I'm not in the map yet.
You're not in the map yet. They are actually going to go try and get
Oh, I am now. Who?
You are now.
Already.
But they're trying to go for a late invade, or an early invade, I should say. There's a ward right on top of them, so they have full vision of exactly what's going on right now. They could maybe pincer this in. They could get a lot of damage if they really want to. They're in a lot of trouble if they get caught, though.
Yeah, they're gonna try to collapse on them. Aurelia is still top lane, so I probably predict they won't. They just want to play it safe. Do have a couple of wards down, so they know exactly where they are. I'll be able to spot them out.
Yeah, they know exactly where they are, tagging the ground. Heroes getting a little bit closer. Oh, gonna land the Pilt over Peacemaker. And they're gonna back away now. No one wants to see that spam. And again, they gave VS Lucian. Now, I don't know if personally if Lamzer plays a lot of Lucian, but I still feel like having first pick, they should have taken it. Purely for the fact that, Lucian Janna is going to be insane if they can get 1 or 2 small advantages.
Yeah, you're right, and I think they probably should have gone instead of picking up the Nami. I know he plays a fantastic Nami and is really comfortable on it, but I really would have thought it would have been best for them to pick up that Lucian and take that away from VS and pick it up from themselves, because Lamzer is comfortable on playing Lucian as well, so probably should have gone for a strong AD carry rather than picking up Nami. But maybe they're looking to play the Caitlyn anyways, and they know how to counter it against a Lucian. But again, Lucian's just extremely strong. He's one of the top tier AD carries. He's got a lot of burst. It's really hard to deal with. I know that Nami and Caitlyn, since they're ranged, they're quite pokey. So we'll see exactly how this goes. Ooh, nice bubble.
Very nice bubble. And as I said, this is what we were talking about at the start of it. Yuhi, though, taking a huge amount of backlash damage, though, from the Zeeks and VS combos. It's all about who hits level 2 first. I think it's going to be Emerald who hit level 2 first, though, considering how the lane is going. They do hit level 2 first. Not really going to have much engage, though, but they still have a lot of piercing light damage, so they still need to be very, very careful.
Yeah, and Zeeks needs to be careful not to get too close, because Lamzer, obviously, the range does a lot of damage as well, especially with those headshot procs. But yeah, since it did hit level 2 first, they didn't really have that hard engage like the Morgana with the Dark Binding, so they really couldn't take advantage of the situation. So it's going to be a bit more passive than we saw in the previous game. So they're just going to have to sit around and try to get a bit of poke down if they can. But Nami and Janna are just extremely high utility supports, instead of a hard engage. So I expect it to be it's going to be constant poke, but it's going to not be as aggressive as the previous game.
Yeah, and actually already we see a little bit of CS lead now building up for VS. He's doing well. Kazak's gonna find that pink ward relatively soon. That's a lot of gold actually down for Elise. She put that down for herself and for her team. So we do wait to see now. Zeke's getting caught out by the Aqua Prison. They're gonna be able to throw this back though. Nice knock up there. Back away. Zeke's though needs to be careful. He hasn't got that black shield to stop stuns anymore.
Yeah, and we see Yuhi landing those Aqua Prisons. She's really good at that. She knows exactly, and she's really precise with them, should I say. So it's doing a good job so far. I can see that they're just a lot more comfortable with these two champions rather than the previous game, but regardless of that, they're still falling behind in CS. It's going to be a bit difficult. Though Caitlyn is ranged, the burst from Lucian is still hard to deal with.
Yeah, and it's going to be even worse now as we do see a 10 CS lead already building. Again, there's just CS leads in every single lane, and this is exactly how the last one went. And all we need now is Kha'Zix to get one good gank off. And here it comes. It's going to go another Heroic. He jumps in. Going to force the flash. Going to get the stun, though. There's the exhaust. Will he be able to get it? He needs to jump in on it. He jumps in, gets the splash stun, but it's not going to work. Fate needs to get the hell out of dodge. She's going to use the repel up. 2 minutes. Going to be able to take that kill. First blood. Great counter gank. She may be able to go back on the pick road. She hasn't got red buff, though, anymore. That's going to be a pretty good counter gank there. Very nicely done there.
Yeah, fantastic counter gank there by 2Boots. Really came in just on time. Fate, we saw he got greedy once again. We saw in the previous game he got really greedy for burning his flash to try and get a kill. The exact same situation occurred where this guy's jungler came along and managed to pick up a first blood. So he needs to be careful with that and not to be burning flashes for kills. It's definitely not worth in the end if you end up losing out to first blood. But yeah, a bit too much greed there on their part. That was probably their mistake.
Yeah, but they had burned the flash. They should have just left it at that. Maybe did a little bit more poke, backed away. But as you say, they got so greedy. Were able to pick up able to lose a kill basically to Elise. And in fairness, 2Boots, like I criticized him a little bit in the first game of not really doing anything in the early game. He was very much there for the counter gank, and fair play to him. He took advantage of that completely.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing a great job. You can see, I mean, Elise is just so much better than Vi in those early levels, and he's actually hanging around that bot lane. The SNZs do not know that he's actually here, so he's just gonna back off. He doesn't see an opportunity for ganking just yet. But looking at the map, there's actually no wards by anybody, so it's a bit risky. They don't want to be overextending too much without vision. Von Krieg making that same mistake as he did in the previous game. He didn't put down his vision early enough in the game, and he had a paying by getting ganked. So he's got to be careful. He's really pushing out his lane pretty hard.
Yeah, we actually might see a repeat of that mid lane gank, because we do see Heroes pushing out the lane, though. I'm pretty sure, though, we have no vision of Kha'Zix, so he should be fine. The vision ward goes down now. He got completely past this. This could be a completely great situation for them.
Yeah, and you can see there is a bit of vision for Emerald DVG. They do have it. They're actually going to fight.
Oh no, they're trying to go in on it there. Kha'Zix's gonna run away. Here comes Twist of Fate, though. He's trying to go in onto this. He has got a gold card locked. He's not going to hit anybody, though. Actually, while that was happening, there was a little bit of an engage in the top lane. Good dodge out there by BS. He's forced to go into it, though. Exhaust